Hi everyone, Az here from HeelvsBabyface, and I've got a question that I'd like to ask. And that question is, why can't games companies just be truthful? Now I know this may sound very bizarre, but you just have to look back over the course of the last 9 or so months, take companies into consideration like Activision Blizzard, EA, Bioware, Bethesda, and realize that these companies have lost millions, if not billions, of dollars because they simply could not or would not tell the truth. So, let's take them bit by bit. First of all, Blizzard Entertainment. On this coming Tuesday and Wednesday for Europe, patch 8.2 for Battle for Azeroth Rise of Ashara is going to hit the live servers. From what I hear from people that I trust, the two common words which seem to be coming out are cautiously optimistic, which, if you break it down to its common denominator, kind of means there's some not so good stuff really, and there's some good stuff, but it seems to be a general turn in the right direction if they truly maintain this direction. That's what it kind of means for the most part. I know I'm being rather basic about that. But one of the problems that 8.2 has, regardless of how good it is the fact that Blizzard have actually told people that patches don't bring players back to the game. And there is an old saying that we are creatures of habit, and we get into our little habits. And so if you're a company telling people that patches don't bring people back, and that new expansions bring people back, then you start to listen, and you get into different habits. You get out of the habit of resubscribing to a game that you may have left. When the truth of the matter is, sometimes people don't come back for patches because the patch before or the expansion's initial launch wasn't good. For instance, with Battle for Azeroth, the 8.0 was terrible. It really was terrible. It was boring. There was nothing really to get involved with. The World of Warcraft has become so easy mode, it just feels basic as hell. All the contents that you had meant nothing. There was nothing to work towards. Professions are just a joke. The only thing of any relevance seemed to be Mythic Plus dungeons and raiding with PvP. So those are the only things that you could really do to progress your character. Otherwise, you were just sat down twiddling your thumbs. Warfronts, garbage. Island Expeditions, garbage. Outside World, garbage. World Quests, garbage. Rares, garbage. Treasure Chests, garbage. It was just absolutely diabolical. So the actual repercussions of that patch led to what's going to happen later on. So if an expansion release is strong and has a really good reception from your audience, if you can follow it up with a 0.1 patch in relatively good time, 3 months, 4 months at best probably, then you're going to most likely retain a lot of those players, certainly if the content of that patch is up to snuff. If the content of that patch isn't up to snuff, then you might find yourself starting to get an organic drop-off. But just to say people don't come back for patches is dishonest. It's not truthful. It's because the expansion release hasn't given people a reason to. And so if they have dropped off because of the expansion release, and then you want to lie, you want to fudge the reason why they've done it and say, well, patches don't bring people back, it's new expansions. You have created a false narrative. You have told people not to come back for patches. So regardless of how good a patch is, 8.2 will no doubt bring some people back. But exactly how many people could have it brought back if the other patches, the 8.1 and the 8.0, were significantly better? It's really as simple as that. With EA, Battlefield 5, we'll take that as an example, underperformed in sales by over 1 million units. Now, don't get me wrong, it sold very well indeed, but the fact is, these games don't just sell very well, they sell excellently. And so if you suddenly lose over 1 million sales, it does have a significant impact on what the predicted revenues were going to be for that year. And why was Battlefield 5 sales so low? Was it because the actual physical content of the game? Likely not. No. Battlefield has a very fun multiplayer experience for people that play it. The reason why a lot of people chose not to purchase Battlefield 5 was because of the way EA decided to go to war with its customer base. Absolutely crazy. For all the wokeness that the industry likes to virtue signal, because it is just virtue signal, for all the hashtag everyone's Battlefield, which is, if you think about it, one of the most idiotic hashtags that you could possibly have. Hey everyone, this war is for everyone. You mean we can all die? Yeah, we can all die in the name of wokeness. Oh, okay. But when you decide to challenge your customer base, who is, for Battlefield, most likely 98, 99% male, by virtue signalling, and not only virtue signalling, but when you're brought to task on it, when you're actually challenged about it, and a lot of people challenged it in a normal, rational manner, then you decide to insult them, call them uneducated, say that they don't understand what truly happened, while you're creating false stories in World War II, taking real life events where men lost their lives, sacrificed, made the ultimate sacrifice to their country for their freedom, for our freedoms that we have today, and transplant it with a teenage girl because they want to be woke. What do you expect would happen? And so when you do the ultimate challenge to your audience, well, if you don't want a woman on the cover, don't buy the game. When you do the ultimate challenge, you get what you get. You get 1 million plus less sales than you should have done. Not only that, with EA, because it floats on the stock market, its price went down significantly because the rumor got around of people cancelling their pre-orders, shareholders got twitchy bum time, stock price plummeted, but the game that didn't blink was Call of Duty. And so EA, DICE decided to pull the head-to-head challenge of Battlefield versus COD. It was shown as a significant sign of weakness. The price plummeted in stocks. EA had a very, very bad year comparative to how they should have done. Then let's look at Bethesda. Bethesda did something slightly different, but more lying by omission. When they released Fallout 76, when they announced Fallout 76, there was intrigue. Sure, there was caution, and rightfully so, but there was intrigue in the product. And even I myself, who reckon that Bethesda did the best showcase of E3 2018, even I said, hey, I trust Bethesda. I have loved the Elder Scrolls games to date. I liked the Fallout franchise a lot. Fallout 4, a little bit of a misstep, but I trust Bethesda. Let's see what they put in front of me. So I was giving them the benefit of the doubt. And then when it came out, holy hit. Did we get an absolute cacophony of crap with Fallout 76? A broken world, a vacuous game. And then we understood exactly what Fallout 76 was. It was, please visit our digital store to buy your digital shit for extortionate amounts of money because we're just desperate to get into the live service business, and to hell with all you customers. Bethesda just went silent. They just went silent. Everybody went silent. The Twitter account would just tweet out, "Yay, hi everyone, everything's great, everything's awesome," lying by omission. And Todd Howard, Pete Hines wouldn't say a word. Not a single solitary bean. Not until February of next year, which is this year, would Todd Howard actually open his mouth and again lie about the state of Fallout 76. Was it February? It might have even been March or April, to be honest with you. But it was a long time. Let me just say that. But all Fallout 76 needed to do, all Bethesda had to say at E3 2018 was, we're releasing a game into alpha early access. And it's going to be an open world, multiplayer Fallout game. That is all they had to do. We are going to put it out, and then later on, you say that you're putting out at full whack, if you so choose to. And you say that, obviously, this will just give you full reins to play the game forever, obviously. But that is the tack that they should have taken. And it probably still would have sold millions of units. Still would have sold millions of units. People would have liked to have got in at ground floor with Fallout 76. And at least you wouldn't have been dishonest with your audience. You wouldn't have misled them into exactly what this product was. Because Todd Howard at E3 said quite openly that they knew that they weren't putting out a finished product, or just before E3. They knew that, and they knew they were putting out a broken product. Now, the sad thing is, he also went on to say that that was absolutely fine, because it's what a product turns out to be, which is not the case. When you are selling people on a fully finished game, which is what you're doing, not an early access game. If it's an early access game, then sure, a game can evolve and develop and become good things. Warframe, for example, when that first came out, very basic stuff indeed, wasn't going down massively well, but they worked and they worked and they worked and they worked, and now Warframe is one of the most revered looter-shooter games out there because of the hard work that was put in. But, as far as I'm aware, that was always free to play. You didn't even have to make a purchase of that. And so the dishonesty of Bethesda cost them not just the sales, it cost them not just the outcry, but it cost them their reputation and respect. And I know these words might be meaningless to these money people. Todd Howard has more money coming out of his orifices than I'll ever see in a lifetime, in just probably a couple of months' paychecks. He was bragging at E3 about his Tesla when he bought his Tesla, and he went for the ultimate one with everything, bells and whistles and the whole job lot. Todd Howard just flexing all over people while his company burns because of their dishonesty. It's a very sad case, but words like respect mean something to silly, stupid people like myself. And so that takes us, finally, onto Bioware and Anthem. And this game has been... it's very surreal to say this when you've had things like Fallout 76, and you had BlizzCon 2018 with the Diablo Immortal announcement, and you saw what an absolute garbage fire thing Blades was as a mobile game for the Elder Scrolls in terms of money grab. But Anthem was the dumpster firest of the dumpster fires. Incredible. And yes, Anthem came out and it was just awful. Absolutely awful. And its first and foremost cardinal sin was it was boring. Absolutely boring. Never mind broken, never mind bugged, never mind the loot system doesn't work, never mind all of these features. Of the course, they all add up. They all add up to one major dumpster fire. But when you haven't even got a true concept for what your game is, when you haven't got a true idea about what your game's supposed to deliver, then it's just 100% mess. 100% mess. But what did Bioware, what could they have done to at least try and get people to empathize with them to some degree? Because they couldn't really do too much. The game is a joke. An absolute joke. The roadmap they put out in an attempt to repair the game has gone from the game already. They couldn't deliver 95% of what they wanted in April. They couldn't deliver the one thing that they wanted to deliver in May. And here we are, the end of June, and the roadmap's been removed from the website. And their new philosophy is, we'll just tell you when something's ready. It's embarrassing. Absolutely embarrassing. But what could have at least Bioware done to get a little bit of empathy from people? They could have just told the truth. They could have just said, you know, we had various concepts for Anthem over the course of 6 years. And even after 4.5 years, concepts weren't really falling into place. It was only really the last 1.5 years or so that we realized where we wanted to go and try to produce this product for you, and we realize we've let you down. We realize that we've failed, and we need to repair this. We need to repair the trust that you place in us. You have to come from a sincere place. And that's probably half the problem to everything that I've discussed today. Sincerity. Because these people aren't sincere. They aren't bothered about you as customers. They're just bothered about your money as a customer. You are now a statistic for the shareholder. You are not a valued gamer. And when you come up against a company that wants to treat you like a valued gamer versus a company that wants to treat you like a wallet, it literally feels like two different worlds. You look at the way that Anthem with EA and Bioware and Fallout 76 with Bethesda treat you as a valued customer versus CD Projekt Red with the way that they treat you like a valued customer. You look at a company that has actually fallen, has risen up, fallen, and is now in a upward spiral again because it's trying to reconnect with its core concept, its core audience. What made them great? Capcom. A company that is trying to turn things around. They were red hot, and then they went really down the shitter. And now they're trying. It looks like they are desperately trying to deliver things again once more, truly for the customer. It's crazy. It's absolutely crazy that one of the things that human beings gravitate towards in a positive manner is when people are honest and truthful and open with you. And yet these games companies, even when they make mistakes, even when the mistakes are just that, they're just mistakes, can't tell the truth for the life of them. It's madness. Utter madness. I did a video several months ago about all Bethesda had to do was tell the truth. I would extend that to all the industry has to do. or one thing the industry has to do, because it has to do multiple different things, let's be honest. But one thing the industry has to do is start being honest with its customers again. Otherwise, they're just going to do what Blizzard are trying to do with people. People don't come back for patches, they just come back for new expansions. They're just going to come across as disingenuous because they can't take responsibility for their past failings. So I hope you enjoyed the vid. If you did, do give it a thumbs up and also subscribe to the channel. Follow me on social media and Twitch for live streaming. Links there in the description box down below. And I'll be back with some more stuff very soon. You take care. Bye for now.